he's cute as a button, but boy, tough as nails, as we saw over the course of the weekend. Yeah, exactly. Tell us what you were doing on Parliament Hill, because I'm reliably informed by the very boring people who live in Ottawa that nothing rambunctious can even happen down on Parliament Hill, let alone criminal intimidation, as what we saw over the weekend. Tell us what happened.
So on Parliament Hill, for the people who are not aware, it was the annual anti-Israel march that was happening on Parliament Hill. And so my goal was just to ask a couple of questions. And one of them was which candidate for the upcoming election you think would be more favorable for your cause? And it's not really aggressive as a question.
No, although I will tell you that that's the largest carny rally I've ever seen.
I would say that some people were favorable for Mark Carney because of his latest comment, and I was just trying to engage. But obviously, there is the Antifa / far left activists from Montreal who recognized me right away, and with their kind of, I don't know how you call it, but it's like a long board with like Islamic writing on it.
Banner. Yeah, that's their banner.
And so they were cattling us, me and Guillaume, trying to stop us to move around. And they were really following us for a long time on Parliament Hill. And they were telling everybody to not engage with us, to not speak with us. They were saying that I was a fascist, that was anyway, all like the bad words that you can actually use for painting someone. And at one point we said, okay, let's get out of Parliament Hill. Anyway, we will not reach any interview. Nobody wants to talk with us. So we went in the street on Wellington and started walking. And we got assaulted. Some people were pushing us around, shoveling us around, and some people were just smashing what we have, like my microphone. And at one point, a man tried to play the victim after like stepping on me and other the other kind of physical assault. And it was saying that I was disrupting, I was assaulting almost, and I was provoking. And at that moment, I just stopped with the police officer. He turned around and I put my microphone on him because I was like, what do you have to say? Like, I did nothing that what you're saying. He actually slapped my microphone and in front of the police. At least the police did something at that point because they saw how much it was aggressive. And so I think they identify him. They identify me also. They took my statement. But they asked me to not go further into the march because what I heard, they will feel emboldened to do whatever they want because there is less police present and it was not safe for us to walk down to the street. But imagine this. This is happening on Parliament Hill. These people are violent. These people can do whatever they want. They can assault you. They can intimidate you, threatening you. And that's okay in Canada. But the Freedom Convoy that was peaceful in Ottawa and never attacked nobody, this is not okay in Canada, and you are facing charges.
Yeah, that's more violence and intimidation than the Freedom Convoy inflicted on anybody. And it happens there week after week after week, as we've seen through the footage provided by Chris Dacey. Every week they intimidate him. The convoy did none of this stuff. And was anybody arrested for assaulting you, or were they just sort of given a warning and hustled away somewhere else?
I don't know what they did with the man. I saw him entering in the police car. I don't know if it's just for identifying him and putting him like for giving his personal detail, because they bring me up to the hill for nobody hear my address or my information. I don't know what will happen with this man that was pretty violent, but something that I need to say, that I need to talk about. Usually at the end of those protests, there always a prayer happening, and this time it happened on Parliament Hill. I was shocked to the point that I saw who was leading the prayer. It was the Imam Adil Shakawi. I don't know if our viewer know who he is. He is the one who did like a hate speech during one of the big protests in Montreal, calling for, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to be deplatformed or something like that, but to all the enemy of Gaza, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And to find one by one and to not let one alive. And he also been investigating in the past for ties with Al-Qaeda. And one of his students, because he was a teacher who said that time, and some of his students have alleged to move. I think it was in Syria. I'm not too sure the country where the student went after he was a teacher, but there were reports of alleged indoctrination of those students. He's not teaching anymore after the speech he gave. I think his right to teach was removed from him. But the thing is, he's not born here in Canada. He got his citizenship, and a lot of people don't understand how he got his citizenship. But he got his citizenship, I think, I don't remember the year, but the fact that he was there doing like the prayer in front of everybody, I find that really, really concerning, that he can still go to those protests when last time he actually made death threats.
Well, here's my 2 cents worth, Sheila and Alexa. First of all, it's very odd. You know, I have a lot of people that come up to me when it comes to dealing with the Hamas and corrupt police officers, and they ask me, how can you take it? How do you remain cool? I don't want to give them what they're looking for, which is to, you know, lose it, drop F-bombs. Everyone's got a camera. It's not a good look. However, when I see it happen to my colleagues, especially female colleagues, I guess chivalry's not dead, but anyways, my blood is boiling. And I saw it with the fake feminist punching Sheila in the face in Edmonton almost 10 years ago. And I see it with you continually, Alexa. You're a lioness. The idea that you can deal with this also with grace. But at the end of the day, this was a very important video you did on Parliament Hill, because it is more video proof, and we've seen it for the last 18 months, that multiculturalism, official state-sanctioned multiculturalism in Canada, is dead. It's over. Going back to 1971, when Blackface's father brought in official multiculturalism, there was an unspoken, unwritten contract. And it was simply this: you can come from anywhere in the world to Canada. You can pursue the Canadian promise, the Canadian dream. You can take advantage of our welfare programs, ranging from unemployment insurance to free medical care. Here's what we want in return. You obey the law. You do not import age-old hatred to the streets of our great Dominion. And as we've seen since October 7th of 2023, we have people committing vandalism and violence and chanting for genocide and cosplaying as Sinwar, the mastermind of the October 7th massacre. And look, not just ones and twos, there's a few thousand there. Multiculturalism is dead. It was an experiment. It was something that maybe, like the 1971 Ford Pinto, looked good on paper, but in practice, it's an unmitigated disaster. And enough is enough. This is happening right in front of police officers who let this happen, who do nothing. Actually, I stand corrected. On cold days, certain police services will bring them Timbits and coffee because, chanting for genocide, that can wear you out a little. And we have the political class the next day saying, Canada has no home for hate. This is unacceptable. Until next weekend, when there will be more home for hate. We can't really do anything in terms of Canadian citizens, well, aside from arresting them, and they're breaking many sections of the criminal code, including Section 319. But Alexa, if you're an international student, if you're here on a work visa, and many of those people are, they're not Canadian citizens, they have to be deported. And I mean put on a plane and sent back to whatever shithole they came from, because they are breaking this contract. They are not behaving themselves. They are not obeying the law. And they are making a mockery of Western values. What is your response to that, my friend?
I would go even further, me. If you got your citizenship and you are committing those crime and those hate speech, I'm sorry, your Canadian citizenship is being revoked. You don't own it because you don't deserve it. And we need to be proud of you. We are Canadian, and everybody who carry that citizenship should be proud Canadian. And we don't want the criminals of other countries pretending they are Canadian and carrying our status and doing all those things. It's not okay.
Want to stay on top of the latest current events but don't trust the mainstream media to help you do that? Then check out our daily live stream coverage of the latest news and totally unscripted at rebelnews.com/roundup.